Merch Minds Podcast episode 127. My name is Glenn, YouTube channel Hustler Hacks. Young, what's up?
What's going on? We're back. I know last week we didn't have a show. It was a short week.
It was a
It was a
holiday.
short work. It was a holiday, so we took last week off. But we're back. We're
How many
back.
days did you have off last week? Did you go extra, like Tuesday, Wednesday?
No, because it was Monday off. Yes, just Monday.
Oh, okay. Okay, took
Yeah,
it easy.
yeah, just Monday. I can't remember. Did I go anywhere? Did I do anything?
Did you take Friday off? Then you could have gotten 4 days.
I don't remember. I can't remember what I did. Um, anyways, we're back this week. To talk merch and print on demand, obviously. What's going on with you? Well, first of all, man, what's up with the bandwagon, homie?
Oh, okay. So the story behind this jersey is
I thought you were a Lakers fan.
so like 3 years ago, I got this thrifting and I got it for $2. And it has like a weird kind of like random stain, like where it's like I think they washed it and it kind of faded. And I was like, you know what? Let me just keep it. And so they just happened to win. And now I'm
Is
wearing
that
it.
Curry? Is that Curry?
Yeah, it's Steph
Who's that?
Curry. So
Okay, bandwagon.
I
Look at
did
this
see
guy,
I
man.
did see your boy E40 at game one.
Man, this guy. What about Drake?
I,
That
I
fool
know.
done lost his damn mind.
He was talking trash to Draymond all up in his face.
Dude, he like, but yeah, man. What the Warriors make it to the finals? All of a sudden, now you're a Warriors fan.
I would wear. Actually, I'm gonna wear my Vince Carter Raptors.
Ooh, that'd be a good one, huh?
Yeah, so I'm
That'd be
gonna mix it up.
okay. Um, did you watch the games? The last two games?
I did. I did watch the
Okay.
games. Yesterday was pretty good at last shot, Iguodala, and put them away. So Drake was pretty quiet. So let's
Oh
see what
yeah.
happens for game
Oh,
three.
good stuff, man. Let's go over our last day. Our last day. Our last 7 days.
All right, last
Uh,
7 days.
go ahead.
Where am I? Oh, okay. 49 products sold has gone down. Returns 6. Estimated royalties 133 and 75 cents.
Oh, good God. Did that dip from the last time we talked?
It dipped by like $80.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is actually improving. Uh, 103 products sold, 4 returns, product purchases, $1,895.20. Estimated royalties, $379.38. So close to $400 for the last week. A little higher from the last time we talked a couple of weeks ago. So definitely going in the right direction. There was a couple of days actually last week where I uploaded like 400 or 500 products.
Look at this
Um,
guy.
so I'm trying to get back on track. I think last night I uploaded like 200 products as I was watching the game. Um, so trying to get back on track with merch. Um, Definitely uploading new designs. I got my illustrators and designers. They're back onto a normal schedule as far as designing for me. Um, but yeah, man, what's going on with you? Did you get a haircut?
I did get a haircut. I did get a haircut and I showered. So lately I was gonna tell you this story, which we haven't talked to you like about what this was, but so last Thursday, I ended up going like to a thrift store, which I go thrifting like off and on. Like I don't really go as much as like I used to like years ago. But I wanted to get in like a YouTube video where I find like shoes, Plato's Closet, and also mix in some thrifting. So I ended up going, ended up finding this Celtics jersey. And JoJo White, he's a Hall of Famer, he used to play for the Celtics in like the 70s. And I found this jersey, it was $1.99. And I was looking at like the tags and stuff, and it was like a sand knit tag, really old school. And I was
What does
like,
that
man.
mean? Sandnet.
So it was like the kind of like the not necessarily brand, but kind of like the creators that made that jersey back in the day, and it's like a really different type of material. that they used, and it was all sewn, everything, and it had the bottom tag, and it was like a, like kind of like a custom size, so like size 42. And I did all my research, and like the only jerseys that they made with an actual size were like for the players. More than likely, it was like game worn jersey. And so I found like an older one that was on auction like in 2002, 2012, I don't remember. It sold for like $700. And then now, recently, I kind of posted it, on YouTube, posted on Instagram. And so I got an offer for 1,200. Another guy offered me 3,000. And I'm like, man, I don't know how much this is worth. Like, I'm trying to do all my research possible, and I've contacted like a place to give me like a photo match, to see how much that's gonna cost. So now I'm just kind of like playing the waiting game. I called that guy that offered me the 3,000. He's really interested. I don't know. I mean, he has like a really like high end collection of like game worn jerseys, but
is he local in El Paso?
no, he was in like Michigan or something.
I got you.
And so yeah, now I'm just trying to figure this out.
Nah, man, thrift stores are fun. Like when I used to do a little more, it's again for those of you guys that don't know, that's how Glenn and we originally met, which was in the reselling community. And for the record, I still resell, just not on a just not on a really heavy level that I used to. But I still hit up the garage sales, man. But that's awesome, dude. I don't know if you remember this, but this was about 2 or maybe 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Do you remember that Michael Jordan card that I found
Oh yeah, yeah.
at the thrift? Oh man! So for the listeners, so about 3 years ago, I was at a thrift store. So very similar to like your story. I was just kind of going through like the CD section, right? And there was a upper deck Michael Jordan card that was still in this plastic and everything. Um, it was like 99 cents, right? And as a fan of Michael Jordan, I was like, huh, this is kind of different, kind of unique. 99 cents, I'll take it. I didn't know anything about it. I go home, I do my research. Apparently, this was like a very limited release card, just for like the staff of Upper Deck. And the thing was still wrapped in this plastic. Man, I think I sold that thing for like $2,000 or something. Yeah, it was nuts. It's crazy. I mean, if you guys are patient enough and you guys are in the reselling game, sometimes you'll find that hidden treasure.
Yeah, it's just one of those like home run hits. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's like
How's the jersey look? Any stains or rips or anything?
no stains or rips. Like it's actually really good shape, for it being, I'm assuming, doing my research, it was like 1977. I mean, it looks really good. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. There was one, kind of like in a similar age, and someone sent me the link. And in 2017, it went on auction with a photo match and everything. Same player and all that. I think it sold for like 21,000. So
21,000.
so now, I mean, that guy that offered me three, I mean, he knows what he's getting, but I'm trying to get
Wow.
all of the like authenticity work behind it. And so I'm like trying to just do all of that and make sure I'm set for as
Dude,
much as I can possibly
yeah,
be.
dude, I'm telling you right, if you can get 20K for that jersey, I would definitely go to the right channels to get that authenticated.
Yeah. So
I mean, even if you have to pay a couple $100 out of
oh
your own
yeah,
pocket, yeah,
definitely
for
put in a
sure, get
couple
that off.
hundred, even $1,000 if I have to get it
Yeah,
all
hey, send it over to
organized.
me, man. I'll check it out for you.
Like
I'll,
I'll
I'll,
send
I'll check it out for you.
I'll send it over to Young. Oh man.
No, good stuff, man. But other than that, man, I'm just working, not just on merch. I've been talking about this for several weeks now. I'm working on my little side hustle, doing people's websites. So that's been that's been working out okay. Um, things are kind of plateaued right now, but still doing some work. But let's get into today's interview. We have a great guest. He's been on the show before. Um, Johnathan Grzybowski from Penji. If you guys don't know Penji, they're a design agency that offers design services for Merch by Amazon and just graphic design in general. Um, he's got some really, really exciting news to share with us. So let's talk to Johnathan. All right, guys, we have back our very special friend, Johnathan Grzybowski from Penji. How are you, John? Man, it's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on again. This is the second time, and I
Oh,
hope it's going
wow.
to be as good as the first. And that's exactly how you pronounce my last name, by the way. So
Hey,
pretty on point.
hey, we're BFFs, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
We're BFFs. So why don't you just give us a quick introduction, uh, who you are and what Penji does, and then we'll get into the actual interview.
Yeah, so Penji is a unlimited graphic design service, all at a flat monthly rate. We work a large portion of our work is actually done using with the merch community. So whether that is pop sockets, t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeves, and even leggings, I've seen at some point in time. It's a huge demand, an incredible tight knit community that is looking out for each other, and I'm happy to share some really cool announcements that we have for the audience today.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I know uh, we had talked behind the scenes, and we have some exciting stuff to share with you guys. But before we go into the actual interview, I do want to say, Jonathan, I was a little disappointed in you this year. Last year, I got a very, very nice birthday video from you and the staff. Uh, I got no video this year.
Yeah. Well, you got Cole. It's just
No
no.
video, nothing. No text, happy birthday.
Yeah,
They're busy. They're working hard.
we dropped the ball on that, and I'll be perfectly honest. I forgot my own mom's birthday, so I don't think it's just
Okay,
it's you. But
okay.
next year,
That's
I
bad.
will make a point that there will be a video or some huge thing just for you.
Okay,
And if I do the same for you, I'm going to have to do the same for my own mother. So
of course.
expect that as well.
Of course, man. Obviously, we're kidding. So you got some new exciting announcement. What is it?
Yeah. So we've been working incredibly hard on this new variation of Penji. We're calling it Penji 3.0. And it's taken us probably close to a year to even probably more than that, and a lot of man hours and woman hours, of course, in order to make sure that this is the absolute best product that we could deliver. And so what we realized from talking to our customers, talking to the merch community, we realized that a large majority of people in the merch community want to partake in this service offering, but they may be doing it themselves, or they may be a little reluctant in order to sign up for a service like ours. So if you are a part of the merch community, and I'm going to assume that you are because you're listening to this show and this podcast, we would like to discount Penji at an exclusive rate that is only for the merch community to $244 a month. And that is an investment that you would be able to make if you're a new customer, and you've been deciding whether or not you want to partake in Penji. But what it is that you sign up for this once in a lifetime pricing, and you get locked in at the 244. You can submit anything just like you would for the regular service of Penji, but it would only include merch. So it would just be t-shirts, pop sockets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Same delivery times. In fact, faster delivery times. You can expect next day turnaround time for something like this, or sometimes even same day. And with that in mind, it's going to be the 244 per month every time that you use it. Unfortunately, the minute that you cancel, you do lose that 244 pricing and have to go back up to the 369 pricing, or maybe the Merch Minds discount that you are offering, which is the 10% off per month, or for the first. So with that in mind, that's kind of the biggest announcement that we've made, because we want to make it a little bit better for the merch community to partake and get graphic design so they can focus on other things outside of just whatever it is that we're doing. and you can grow your business to 10x, 20x, hopefully even more than that. So that's the big announcement. And you can use the coupon code Merch Forever, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it a little bit more in a bit. But Merch Forever is the coupon code, and that'll give you around $125 off or so each month for Penji.
So Merch Forever, you get 100 and something off the 369, but it only applies to merch designs, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So if you're trying to do other things for your businesses or your clients or whatever it may be, we would have to have a conversation and say, hey,
Sure.
you're not using it correctly. But it would be the $244 pricing for each month for as long as you can. But and unfortunately, as soon as you cancel, you do remove that right in order to obtain that pricing.
Sure. No, that's pretty exciting news. Super exciting. Glenn, your thoughts?
You guys also do like the build annually, like an extra discount for that as well, or?
Yeah, so we've been considering that. I don't think it's necessarily something that we can do just because of the way that the unit economics is. But what we're able to do is that if you want to do the 244 for the entire year, you can actually do that. Unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to do it through the website just because it's not necessarily available in that same way. But if you do need that for the entire year and you want to be able to get that pricing, that is something that you can do. You would just have to contact the support team either in the chat of your website. We have a chat on our website, or if you contact hello@pengie.co, we'd be able to facilitate that as well.
Okay, cool. Exciting. So here's the thing. I know, and we talked about this last year when you were on. We talked about other design services out there, and look, I'm not saying Pengie's the best, but I will say this: within the past, it's been over a year now. I've been a loyal member of Pengie. I swear to God, they charge me $300 and something every month, right? And to this day, I get charged every month because I use their service. I'm proud of their service. And again, I know there's other competition out there, other design services, but from what I heard, okay, and I don't know this. If I'm wrong, listeners, please let me know. From what I heard, they only do merch designs. Penji they do everything, right? They do you guys do logo designs, you guys do UX UI designs. Obviously, you guys do merch designs, brochures, print, business cards. You guys pretty much do it all, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We've actually expanded our service offering. I'm going to give you guys an exclusive, and I'm not saying this just to, pat you guys on the back or do you a solid, but we've never showed Pengie off publicly before. We've done it privately a bunch of times, but we've never done it in front of a large audience. So this is, kind of exciting. So we've actually taken, I think we were only able to do about like 25 things last time. We're now able to do 65 different things, and that's all inclusive. So that's exciting. So not only have we upgraded our software, we've upgraded our service, we've hired a ton of more people, we've been able to reduce revision times down to 12 hours, we've been able to less than 12 hours, we've been able to lower our delivery rates of just normal merch related products in under 24. So all of these things are updates that we've done, and it looks better. It works on mobile. So there's so many things that it's now advantageous for the on-the-go side hustler individual that usual merch people are. Now you can take it on the go with you directly in your phone by accessing Pengie, and now you'll be able to access it on your computer just the same, and it all just works. There was a lot of bugs in the early beginnings of Pengie, like any startup would have bugs, but now more so than ever before, it's something I'm so incredibly proud of, and I'm just really excited to be able to just have more people have more eyes on what it is that we've created and worked so hard on.
Yeah, no, Glenn, obviously this isn't going to make sense to you, but I did log in after you guys went to the whole facelift in the back end, and it was quite impressive, very streamlined, very easy to navigate. The I think you guys did a really good job. And so here's the thing, Johnathan. I don't know if you know this or not, but the merch community, they've been talking a lot within the last couple of months about the whole KDP. Have you heard? Have you heard about that? The Kindle publishing.
Yes.
So I just want to let them know. So this is one advantage about Penji, okay? Because we just got done telling you guys about how Penji is a full-on graphic design service, right? You guys pretty much do everything. We just, we just talked about that. Guys, think about this. You can now have your covers created as well, right? For your journals. If you guys want custom interiors, you now have your own personal designers through Penji. Again, you just have to let them know what you want. So this is more than Merch by Amazon with Penji. Now you're getting access to, again, people who can design your journal covers, your interiors. And I always say this as well. I mean, think outside the box, man. Like if you guys are doing local merch, use Penji and offer in-house design services. But I mean, obviously, you're outsourcing it to Penji. But just to kind of think outside the box, right? Like if you guys are going to go with Penji, there are so many opportunities. RJ, that damn fool. Obviously, he's a good friend of mine. He always freaking laughs every time I say this. I've even used you guys for my day job. I don't have a problem saying that. I don't know why he finds that funny, but hey, I don't mind admitting it. I've used Penji for my day for projects at my day job. But it's just about trying to utilize Penji and just and not overwhelm myself, right? So at one point I was overwhelmed. I was like, well, you know what? This would be a good job, a good project for Penji, and I let you guys do it. So lots of benefits here as far as Penji is concerned.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you. And I would, obviously echo that and saying that, yeah, you're right. If you are looking to create more of a streamlined lifestyle where you don't feel like designing, even if you are a designer, we understand that like the natural tendency of a designer is to actually want to design because that's what you're really good at. That's what you're most comfortable with. But at the end of the day, you have crap that you have to do. You have to be able to pay the bills. You have to be able to deliver. You have to be able to execute. And executing is the difference between you and that of like a billionaire or a millionaire. So if you can rely solely on just the execution process and then take all the mundane things that you don't want to do and give it to a service like Penji, or give it to another service very similar to ours that I'm sure they'll be able to deliver a quality experience just like we do and just as good, maybe at times, if not better. I think that is a solution. So you're right. This is beyond Penji. Obviously, we want you to use Penji because I'm selfish, but at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. Absolutely. And I think that with the Kindle publishing, I think it's really important. We've done a ton of books not that long within the past couple of months because of that push that the world of Kindle publishing is doing. So it is something that we are personally used to. Yeah,
it is rapidly growing. Glenn, what are your thoughts? Any questions for John?
I was also looking at the site, just seeing like some of the other companies you've done work for, like Reebok and Lyft, and I mean, talk a little bit about the work you've done and how you've grown and some of your like partners and stuff. I mean, that's really cool to work with a lot of these companies. I mean, you can't really say a lot, but at least
well, I can go in as much detail as possible. We have an amazing team of outreach specialists that are reaching out to these companies, and they see the value, whatever it is, in what we do. I think working with the big companies, here's the one thing, right? When I used to when I ran an agency, it would be a dream in order for us to obtain a customer like Lyft and Reebok and all these things. Like that is the dream client. And now what I love the best is that Reebok and Lyft and 1-800-Flowers and Pet Boys and Young and all the other people within their merch community, you're all the same person to us.
No. I'm a little bit higher.
That is
I'm a little
true.
bit higher.
That is
I'm a
true.
little bit higher.
A smidgen. But when I say same, like we treat everybody at the same level. At least we try to, except for Young, of course. But like we don't have to go above and beyond in order to give a better experience to like a lift because they're lift. We're going to give the same experience regardless. So I think that is like one of the coolest things about working with these large companies. From a design perspective, it's always great for a designer to see their work on like high-end quality stuff. But believe it or not, I actually think, and this is just from the studies that we've talked to with our design team, they actually are more passionate about the merch stuff than they are the actual like big business stuff, because being able to have somebody wear their stuff is more of a badge of honor than that of like something that they see on like, billboards. Yes. Advertising materials. Yes. But like the internal things, probably not. But like a t-shirt is something that they're really cool, that they're really happy about.
That's cool. I'm sorry, Glenn, did you have something else?
I don't know. I was gonna see. I wanted to see, I guess, what you can do as far as like demonstration or showing. A little bit about the upgrades and everything you guys have been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me share my screen. So first, let me just start off by saying, within the past, I'd say 6 months or so, we've been on a hiring spree, which is something that I'm really, really proud to say that because of that, it's been because of our growth. And
Johnathan, just before you continue, I just want to let the listeners know. Obviously, if you guys are listening to this on audio, unfortunately, you can't see what Johnathan is showing us. If you do want to see the video, you have to go into the Merch Minds Facebook group because Glenn refuses to post it on his channel. So the video will be in the group if you guys want to see how Penji works.
And I'm going to do as best as I can in order to show off how what I'm doing. So the people who are more auditorial listening, I'll be able to explain it as best as I can. So we've been on a hiring spree. We've hired a ton of new designers that are specific to merch. We've been hiring designers specific to UX UI. We've also been hiring a lot of revision designers, meaning that people who are basically just like we're trying to make the process faster. We're trying to make everything better. So rather than waiting 48 hours, you're now waiting 24. Hopefully, we're hopeful to get to that point, but our maximum deadline is still 48 hours. So what you see here is you see Penji completely redesigned from the ground up. What you would do is, if you are a part of a new customer, if you are an existing customer, you should already know a little bit about this, but you probably won't be watching this anyways if you're an existing customer. But you would just go ahead and you would go to create new project. So when you create new project, what you're going to see is, again, the 65 different things that we've been able to add. And you actually have an entire section here specific to illustration and graphics. So if you need some type of pattern or wallpaper, because maybe you need something like a legging, or maybe you need like a complex illustration or even an illustration, you'd be able to submit all of that too. We also have a section for merch. So if you need a pop socket or other clothing and apparel, you can make that request. So we have two specific dedicated areas specifically to the merch community. And so for the sake of conversation, you need a t-shirt, you need something done. We've added all the colors that you would inevitably use that are certified by merch. So if you needed the something on like a black or on like a gray background or whatever it is that you need, just check them all off, or check none of them off, whatever you want to do. And we'll be able to do some of the designs specific, cater the design specific to that color background.
Nice.
The thing is the same. So if you have a t-shirt, I don't know, is better than Young.
I like that.
You just is it two ends or just one?
Just one.
Gosh.
And then you would just make a brief description of what you want it to look like. So whether it's like an illustration, that's fine. But what happens if you want to change the you want to reference something? Maybe you find an inspiration online. Maybe you find like an icon, or maybe you find like another popular merch related t-shirt. That's fine. Just paste it here so we can get a better understanding of what you want it to look like. And we'll do our best in order to make it 100% unique to you. More often than not, and I'm sure you have a question about this, Young, but a lot of times there's copycats and there's similarities in a lot. Every time that you submit something, we do the absolute best to take whatever it is that inspires you and to make it completely unique and custom to yourself. Sometimes, I will say that we didn't hit the mark, and we have messed up in multiple occasions where it wasn't like 100% unique. But it's one of those things where once we find out that happens, again, we're not perfect. We do our damnedest in order to make sure that it's rectified and is redesigned immediately. So if it is, mistakenly just taken or just modified ever so slightly where it's not modified enough, we will go ahead, assess it, we'll do our research and create a new version again immediately for you. You can also upload attachments, which is really good. Again, if you want to show off whatever it is that inspires you. And then if you're talented, like I'm sure a lot of you are that are listening that might have a Photoshop background, then you can just select the PSD or the AI files. And by clicking create project, that indicates that you'll be able to receive those exact files so you can upload it to merch yourself, or you can make some final revisions in order to make it 100% custom to your own. One of the coolest things, even though I shouldn't really show this, because people in merch, they don't really need revisions. They want it done as fast as they humanly possibly can. But all you would do is you would just go into the project once it's created. And if you have a question or if you have a problem, you indicate that here, right on the bottom portion. So what I'm doing to the people that are listening is I'm going into a project and I'm communicating on a platform that looks very similar to Facebook Messenger. So you can upload your additional inspirations. You can make comments. You can write paragraphs, sentences, whatever it may be. And what's the coolest is if you go into the project, you view the designs, you take your mouse, you click on the exact area of what you want changed and make the change. And so if we spelled something wrong or if you don't like something, you just take your mouse, you can click as many times as you want in order to make the revision, and we'll deliver it in under 12 hours for you. If at any point in time you just don't vibe with somebody, you could always click on the bottom right-hand corner where there's an eye, and you can tell us directly whether or not you have an issue with a project or an issue with a designer. If you'd like a new designer for the project, just select it and tell us, and we'll be able to put a new designer immediately in order for you to get the designs that you want done faster. And that's essentially just like the overarching cool thing when it comes to project creation. But if you are more of a scalable business and you want to be able to scale your merch to or whatever it is that you're looking to do even further, you can actually invite team members. So if you have like a VA or somebody that's constantly working on the account so you can focus again growing and scaling another additional side hustle, you can actually add your VA or your partner or whatever it may be directly into Pengie. And it's just as simple as giving us their email address and their first name. And being able to send that invitation will allow them the ability to make changes to your account and be able to, again, make you focus on what's important, which is your business.
That's cool. So this is a new feature, again, for you guys on the audio. You can now have VAs, your own personal VA, that is, on Pengie, working right alongside you. Pretty cool feature, man.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much like next level features. I mean, Yang has talked about just how important it is, in previous episodes about, submitting designs and having a designer and how like key it is to be so specific with what you want.
Yeah.
Because like over time, it's like someone could just design something and then, what was your example again, Yang? Remember how someone wanted like?
Yeah. So the example that I always use is the number one question that I get to this day, whenever I talk about Pengie or just design in general, right? Whenever you outsource, how fast can I get a design? Right?
Yeah, of course.
And obviously the answer is, well, it depends on you. It depends on how well you communicate, right? And the example that I always use is, if you tell me, make me a dabbing dog design, that to me is very vague, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you got to get really specific, you have to tell them, make me a dabbing dog design. I want the dog to be a German Shepherd. Make sure he's brown and has a couple of black spots.
Mhm.
I want him wearing like a collar with
Like a red collar with
spikes coming out. I want his tongue sticking out. You
Yep.
have to be really specific, right? If you don't give your designers, whether it's Penji or whoever,
Yeah.
you're going to have problems, and it's going to take longer than you think.
Absolutely. I think you need to over communicate everything. And I think this goes back, this is way beyond Penji. This goes beyond just like traditional VA, which is a virtual assistant to anybody who doesn't know what VA is. But if you're going to give a VA a task, or if you're going to give an employee a task, you're not going to go up to them and give them vague things. You're going to be able to sit down with them. You're going to be able to talk to them. You're going to be able to go in as much detail as humanly possible. So why not do the same? What I've even seen is a lot of people using the app Loom, where they're recording. I think it's Loom. They're recording the screen. Yeah, Loom. They're recording the screen, and they're actually indicating verbally what it is that they're looking for, and actually going through the screen share themselves, and then uploading the Loom into Penji. So where you go, like when you go into Penji and you see, so just again, people who are listening, I'm going back into Penji right now just to give you an example. So where it says examples and references, pasting the Zoom link right there. Okay. So now if that is your expertise, if you like that type of stuff, you like being on camera and you like showcasing it, you're more verbal than you are anything else, do it. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. And we actually welcome that. To us, it makes it a little bit better because now we have that special interaction with you. We won't be able to reciprocate and do the same, but at least you could do this. If you feel like we're not hitting the mark, that is an option available to you.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
good stuff. So guys, and also, one thing I just wanted to mention, and I say this every time I talk about you guys, if you guys are looking for 20 designs overnight, this isn't the place. Okay, you got to go on Fiverr. Okay, you got to go to some of these generic marketplaces, because you're not going to get that here. What you're going to get with Penji is, in my opinion, high quality designs. And they're going to spend a little more time working on your design. Okay, if you want something where you want, again, 20 designs overnight, this isn't the marketplace. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. It's not. Now, I have seen people within the merch community do ask for 20 designs on a given project. We could still do it. It just may not be 24 hours. Yeah. So as long as you're okay with waiting a little bit longer for those 20 designs, those styles, whatever it may be, I think it's your right to ask, but just know that the delivery is going to be a little bit longer. I think if you're going to be doing like a dabbing dog, for example, ask for different style dogs and use that as additional streams of income for the merch, for your merch placements. It might help you rank a little bit higher, a little bit faster. It might give you more, it might give you more money in your pocket. Who knows? But that's where I think I would, if I were to do double designs or like batch designs, I would do it in that realm, different style dogs or different style wordings and things like that. Illustrations are going to take a little bit longer. I do have to be very clear on that, just because it's literally custom. We're hand drawing this stuff. But at the core, you can expect for all merch related things, 24-hour turnaround time max.
Mm-hmm. No, and I will say this. He does have some great illustrators. In fact, I noticed that poster in the back. That's done by one of my favorite illustrators on your staff. I'm not going to mention his name because I want him all to myself, but I do recognize his illustration.
Yeah, he did do this. You're 100% right. So this was actually done by Team Penji. It was a collaboration of a couple people. The person that you have in mind, that I know that you have in mind, did do a large majority of this. But yeah, it's got everything from like, the NBA trophy that the Sixers will win one day. You got an homage to the Eagles. You got unicorns, because for some reason unicorns are still cool in the merch community. Gauntlet. I don't know if you can see that from here, but that's the Infinity Gauntlet.
can see it.
Yeah, and you got Pokeballs because we're nerds, and
Sure. Or
bowl of rice because we love Asian cuisine.
So do I.
Yeah, yeah. It's random, but it looks dope though, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I recognize it. I recognize the style, and I knew exactly who did it. Let's something I want to discuss. Let's address the whole third party graphic usage because I know the last time we had you on, I had a few people message me and complain about, hey, did you know that Penji is using third party graphics? I'm like, yeah. And you know what? Other competitors that deliver 20 designs overnight, I can assure you they're probably doing the same thing. You want to address that?
Everybody uses third-party graphics, and if somebody comes to you and says that they're not, then they're lying to you. Simple as that. Everybody to some degree, people aren't going to use it every single time, but you need to have some variation and inspiration in order to model something off of. Now, if you're doing a custom illustration, I think that's a little bit different. That is usually 100% unique. But if you want variations and carbon copies of different things, and you're telling people to take things from this and take things from that, there needs to be some basis in order to copy, in order to model it after. What I think is really important, and is an emphasis that we need to understand, is that even if they use it, they need to be able to construct it in a way where it's 100% custom to you. And that's the key. So I would say that, like, yes, it is a huge problem. There are times that designers definitely don't change it as much as they probably should. But an indicator like communicating that with your project manager, at least on Penji, I could speak to this, talking to your manager, talking to your designers and telling them and say, hey, this is too similar to what I found online. As long as we're able to catch it, and we should be able to catch that. I make that very clear. We should be able to catch that first. But more often than not, things do slip through the cracks. And if it does slip through the cracks, then just talk to us, have a conversation. And I think that's the key, right? Like our jobs, yes, we are the police. Yes, we need to be able to sift through the stuff. Things do get missed, but it's our job to get it right. And I think that's the difference between us and other companies at times, is we want to be able to make sure that it's right for you. We don't want you to get banned. More often than not, you probably won't get banned. But we don't want that to happen to you. We don't want you to have a bad experience. We want you to be able to work without fear and be able to submit designs in a timely fashion to whatever platform you're using.
Great. Good stuff.
I guess choosing like another designer too, and if that's the case, that's something you want to do, you have that option. So it's not like you're giving up on Penji completely. You can change designer and figure that out.
Right. And it's like Johnathan said, it's just communication. If there's one particular designer that happens to be doing something like that just keeps using, just copying everything, just let Johnathan know. Let me know. I'll Johnathan and I, we talk on a regular basis. But communication, I mean, you can't just have a bad experience and be like, oh, this is the worst company ever.
Yeah.
Look, if that was the case, I think most companies will go under because everyone makes mistakes.
Well, I think it's like a fear, and this happens not just with us, but like any company, right? Like when you're buying something online and you may not necessarily have the best and most pleasurable experience, our first reaction as human beings is to panic, and is to be able to just completely cut ties and never talk to that individual again, because you may be embarrassed in order to maybe highlight what the person is doing wrong, or maybe you don't want to offend somebody. That's why we've indicated that little eye on the bottom right-hand corner, so you don't have to embarrass the designer. If you don't want to say that the designer sucks, and let's be honest, sometimes design sucks. It's design, it's subjective. You have the ability to let the manager know that you don't like that designer. And as Glenn said before, you just indicate that the designer won't even know. We're going to swap them out and give you a new or better designer immediately. So if you are fearful, if you panic and you're like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? I need my money back. I just spent a lot of money. No, just take the time, talk to us, communicate, and we'll make sure we get it right.
Stuff. let's see. I do have one advice for you, Jonathan.
Yeah,
Um,
please.
when you do send out the final files, please add the pop socket uh, um, dimensions and the hoodies.
Okay. I'll
Okay,
definitely write that down.
because we always get the t-shirt dimensions, and then we have to go in as the end user. We have to go in and then resize everything for the pop sockets and hoodies. If you guys can offer that service as well when we get the final files, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll definitely indicate that to our team, and I'll definitely we'll probably make an update within the next couple of weeks of that exact thing. So that's great feedback. And if anybody else that's using Penji or has used Penji and they have feedback, I think again it's something that makes us really great. We know that we're not perfect, and
Yeah.
we want to make it better for you. So if you have feedback and you want to see something or a new feature added onto Penji, let us know. We'll do what we can in order to make it happen.
Yeah, and like I said, Jonathan and I, we do talk on a regular basis, and again, some people have come to me and they've complained, and and I would forward that message to Jonathan, and Jonathan told me, he goes, hey, I want, because I apologized. I was like, hey man, I'm sorry, I got some bad news, but this person's complaining, and Jonathan told me, he goes, hey, I don't care. I want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, he's all about communication.
Yeah, and I appreciate that compliment. You're right. I think if you don't hear the bad stuff, then you're never going to be able to get good. So yeah,
So let's just remind the listeners. So you have the regular plan at $369,
yeah,
and and you get access to the whole agency, right?
yeah.
KDP, merch, books, car wraps, business cards, whatever the hell you guys want done. Uh, just make sure and use the promo code Merch Minds. That's all one word, and you get 10% off every month. In fact, that's the only discount that I know of where they can get 10% off every month. Is that correct?
That is correct. Actually, that is the only one on the planet
Because we
that
are special.
that does that. Yeah, no, you guys are. So I would say that you have two options, right? You have the option of doing the 10% off each month. Again, I'm not lying. We actually stopped it after you because we're like, holy crap, we can't live off of this way. Young and Glenn are destroying us. So with you guys are the last people to do it. So Merch Minds is the coupon code 10% off each month, and then this new one, which is Merch Forever. That's the coupon code, and that's going to be $244 for a lifetime membership. You can do it for the entire year. Just make sure that you let us know that if you want that $244 pricing throughout the entire year, it comes out to around $2,928, and that's for a graphic designer for the entire year.
That's just the merch platform.
Say again.
Just for the merch
That is
platform.
just for the merch platform. Yes.
Let
So
them know.
if that is something that you feel like is advantageous for you, I mean, at $3,000, I'm pretty sure that you can make your money back and then some if you are a merch user, an avid one at that. So
Write it off. No, man.
yeah,
Hey, good stuff, man. It's always good to catch up with you.
And
I still,
impressive updates too. I mean, that's really good
yeah,
stuff.
cool, man. I do want to make and I keep saying this, man. I want to make my way out there. I know you promised me dinner. And I haven't forgotten. I'm bringing 50 family members, man. We're gonna
yeah.
take you up.
Yeah, we got you, man. Trust me. You come down, Glenn. You too. You come down.
Your ass stays home. I'm 50 family members, man. We're gonna dine like kings and queens.
Yeah, well, Glenn can't come in if he wears that Golden State jersey. But if you
I need a Philly and need a Sixers. So.
yeah, if you need a Sixers one, a throwback AI, we're good. But other than that,
I like that.
Warriors bandwagon all of a sudden. Jeez. Good stuff, Jonathan. Hey, we really appreciate you, man.
thank you.
Really impressed with everything that you've done. Again, I've been a user for over a year now, and I'll continue to be a customer unless, for whatever reason, I just decide to quit merch. But I don't see that happening, man.
Yeah, well, it's because of people like you that has been able to allow us to grow. Just a fun fact: we've now been able to work with over 1,000 brands, and we've only been in business for a little bit over a year, a little bit over a year. So to be able to work with 1,000 brands, to be able to say that, we've produced over, at least at this point, 25,000 plus designs and growing just last year alone. I mean, that's a huge honor. So it's because of people like yourself that believe in us, that are able to make even cooler products for people. So, thank you guys for allowing us the opportunity to be on this show. This was the first or second show that we ever did in the very beginning of Penji, and it went like crazy. Yeah. And it was because of you guys that and your really good SEO, it brings people back. So I have to give you guys a huge kudos to laying that foundation, to really having us understand that merch is such an amazing community, and we want to be able to help them grow and to help you grow the people that are listening. That's why we're here. We're here for you. That nothing more.
Good stuff, man. No, seriously, man. I continue to say this, and I really appreciate everything that you've done for my account. And
absolutely,
at the end of the day, I just our friendship really does mean a lot. I mean, we've got to know each other pretty good.
Yeah,
good stuff, man.
We're bros. We're bros.
Glenn, you can be a brother too, man. I don't care. Cool, man. Well, hey, thanks for being here. I'm going to have everything in the show notes. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Reach out to me. I'll do the best that I can to answer your questions. And if I don't have the answers, I'll reach out to Johnathan and get you guys in touch. Cool. Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
All right. Really good interview. Even I think you followed it up even better than the first one. Now that Penji has all these extra stuff. I thought it was awesome. I like to see how you can choose, and physically see what you want.
Dude, I didn't realize. I thought for some reason that they've been in business for longer. I didn't realize that they've only been in business for just a little over a year. So
yeah, I thought they were in business for way longer than that.
So great success for Johnathan and his crew over at Penji, man. Good stuff, man. They're growing, and in my opinion, they're offering a good service, a great service. Again, not just for merch, but for KDP, covers, interiors. Again, if you guys are doing local merch, you can offer design services and just outsource it. It doesn't even have to be Penji. If you have your own designer, outsource that to your designer. But I'm just letting you know that Penji's there. I've been using them for over a year now, and I'll continue to use them. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Apparently, I'm having audio issues, but everything will be in the show notes. If you guys have any questions, just message me, and I'll try and get back to you. Let's just get off the air and just work out this kinks.
All right. No, you sound way better now than what you did.
I don't know what happened. Let's just get off the air.
Okay. All right, then we'll see you guys in the next episode.